Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. We had an inflation print yesterday, which was higher than we expected, and I'm going to talk about that. Are we actually having high inflation or not? So we're talking about that. We're going to talk about some other things, price predictions, maybe what direction I think the market's going to go in. Again, I am no expert in any of this, but I'm going to give my take. I do a lot of research. This is kind of my life lately, my little obsession. So I do a lot of research and watch a lot of other people give their opinions and analyze all their opinions, put all the data together. I am an engineer by trade, so I like doing a lot of research and trying to find out and trying to predict what's going to happen in the market. So here we go. We got the daily chart on Bitcoin, and yesterday we had, let me go to just the weekly real quick. Let's see, can I see the data? Yeah, okay. Here we go. So inflation rate, month over month, went from forecasted 0.3 all the way up to 0.5. Core inflation was same thing, 0.3 to 0.4. And inflation year over year, we went from 2.9 to 3, and forecast 3.1 to 3.3 on core inflation year over year. Now, I don't know that I fully believe this because I was listening to Meet Kevin, and he was talking about inflation rates, and he was saying that what actually happened was the end of last month got basically turned down on inflation, which kind of forced this couple months up, right? So if you kind of go back and you force the inflation down previously, then now you're like, oh, the inflation's higher. But it's like, no, I really just changed the inflation from the last month, right? So that's kind of what he was saying. If you go to trueflation.com, you see something here that looks a little different, right? So if I go in the last even week, let's go to the last month here, you can say it says inflation is actually 2%, which is really what the Fed said their target was. Now, they say that their target's 2%, but then they also say that, you know, oh, we need to see basically 0% for us to start quantitative easing, which is what some people are speculating is required to start the altcoin rally. So I don't know, kind of just interesting. I thought I'd just show this here. You can see inflation is much higher. Oh my God, Argentina, India. So you can see inflation is much worse in other countries. But if we just look at, here's like the 6 month, even the 1 year, you can see we had almost like a double top in inflation here. You can see we had this, and then we came back down, and guess what? We cut some rates, and then inflation went back up, but now it's dropping again. And if you look at the labor market, you know, even myself, I'm in manufacturing, and there's a lot of talk about, oh, tariffs are going to hurt the employment, and maybe we're going to have to start laying off people. So it does seem that inflation is going up, which is bad for, you know, recession fears. And it does seem like the job market is losing some stability, just from my own personal experience. Now, if we look at the fear and greed also, let's just see what happens here. We were in fear, and now we're kind of back into neutral because we've kind of just stopped really having any big price movements, right? So here's the daily chart. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days so far where we're really just ranging in like a 5% window. So not a lot happening with price. You did see a pretty big sell off when we got the numbers. If we go here, you can see we did have some kind of big numbers that came down here when we got the numbers from the Fed, those inflation numbers. You can see we kind of had a little bit of a sell-off. If you look at other assets, it was a little bit more dramatic. You can see just a big dump, but then we kind of pumped. And it's just kind of interesting because we also had the bull moon, which I was talking about the other day. If you look at the moon cycles, usually we see some pumps, and we did see a pump. Now, it was only a little 4% pump, so very interesting wick here. I don't know if you saw this, but on Coinbase, Bitcoin had this huge wick in like I think it was like a 5-minute candle or something crazy. Yeah, look at that. That's a 5-minute candle where we went down, boom, 2% on one single candle. So someone had a very big sell order that got eaten up almost instantaneously. But we did kind of get just rejected from this channel that we've been in for quite some time, right? So look at, we initially hit it, we rejected down like crazy. We went straight back up. We really tried to break out of it, and then we didn't. We came down. So there's been a lot of market manipulation lately where big whales and, you know, even market makers have been selling assets to kind of hold the market back. I don't know if that's what this is, you know, and of course that's all speculation, right? You can kind of watch people's wallets and where they're sending money, but yeah. Anyways, you can see the volume has dropped off as well. So, which is another not great sign for just our overall, you know, upness or downness. So we'll see what happens here. But if we look at the liquidation heat map, what we might see is since we have the bull moon, maybe a push up here, maybe grab some liquidity and then maybe go down. So again, my initial little thesis was that we might, let me go to like a 12-hour. My initial thesis here is that we got the bull moon. So potentially we will do something, you know, like this. Oops. Let me do this right here. Okay, so you see something like this, maybe a reject off that, and then back down for a cycle low about this time, maybe March, and then maybe a breakout finally again. That's just maybe what I could see happening. Again, we might just do something even less, where we just kind of pump a little bit, go down a little bit, and then maybe come up here, maybe come back down here and retest this channel and then back up as well. So there's a lot of different things that we could have happen. We could also just go down and just kind of continue to follow this until March. People are just a little bit uncertain about the market now because inflation is saying it's going up, which could potentially signal that we are going into a recession. So usually that's not good for markets, but it's kind of interesting when we talk about inflation, because when inflation gets high, that's actually the reason why we want to own Bitcoin. So I think it's kind of funny that when inflation is high, people sell their Bitcoin. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't you not want your US dollars? Shouldn't you want something with a fixed supply that goes up in value over time? So I always think it's really funny when we see inflation go up and people sell. It's like, that should be the opposite of what you're doing. When inflation goes up, you should be buying as much Bitcoin as possible because it is the hedge against inflation. So that whole thing kind of just makes me laugh a little bit. But let's look at Bitcoin dominance, and it actually has been falling off for multiple days now. Now, of course, there's no big moves, again, because we have not seen quantitative easing start, and the Fed is talking about, we may not get any, or the pricing in is let's see, interest rate chances, CME Fed watch. You can go here and you can say, all right, when's going to be the next rate cut? And yeah, it's not looking good for a rate cut here. So current is 425 to 450, right? And it says 97% chance that we're just going to stay where we're at. 2.5 that will cut. And it looks like not until maybe like December we might get something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Oh, that's 26. That's not what we want. Wait, why are we all the way in 26? Oh, here we go. December. Of 25. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We might get a cut all the way in December. We might not get a cut anytime soon. We'll kind of see what happens here. The reason why we want interest rate cuts is it kind of just signals that, hey, we might be slowing down a little bit. We're going to, cut the rate so that we can increase the funding going into the economy. The lower the rates, usually that means that's when we start doing quantitative easing. Maybe the money printers go on and we print a lot of money. So those are all good things for risk assets. If we go to the money supply, what do we got going on here? You can see we did print a crazy amount of money in 2020. You can see we literally jumped up like 40%. We just boom printed, trillions really of dollars. We came back a little bit, and then we have been printing a little bit since 2023. But once if we end up seeing something like this again, that's really when Bitcoin starts to run, because the value of the US dollar comes down quite quickly. If we look at the US dollar here, you can see that we've kind of been going up since, September, August, September area, we've just been boom going up. So I don't know, maybe if we see this fall back, price will go up a lot. But yeah, let's talk about some of the altcoins real quick. What's going on? Everything is red currently right now, besides Binance Coin, which is interesting. Binance Coin is getting some love here for sure. That's a pretty good run, honestly, especially from the bottom of this low here. So this was the low at the beginning of February here when we had that big liquidation event, and that was a great place to buy. And Binance Coin up 40% since then. So Bitcoin is only up whatever 5%, so doing very well. Litecoin saw a very nice pump as well. I have a couple trades open right now on Bitunix. If you do want to trade on Bitunix, feel free to use the link in the description. Gives you a nice little discount. But my Bitcoin trade actually got closed last night in the profit, so I just reopened it, and it's down just a very small percentage. But I opened up a couple different trades. I had a very nice Litecoin trade. I was up about, I don't know, $1,000 or something. Now I'm only up about 200, but I did add a little bit more because I'm super bullish on Litecoin. It's really the only thing that could possibly potentially compete with Bitcoin. It has, you know, the same decentralization, you know, a max supply of coins, which is whatever, 84 million, 86 million, whatever it is. Low transaction fees, very quick to send. I've been a fan of Litecoin for a very long time. So it's kind of like the Bitcoin that is also kind of good at transactions where, you know, when I send my Bitcoin, if I'm not allowed to use the Lightning Network because of exchanges or whatever, it's been taking me 24 hours to send my Bitcoin. So I usually use Litecoin to transfer because it's like instantaneous, and it's literally like 2 pennies to trade with Litecoin to send it anywhere. I have an ETH trade open that was quite high in the profit, but I have a stop loss in the profit. So in case we get a pullback, it just closes out and I make my fees back, and that's pretty much it. I have an XRP trade as well. So again, if you want to trade, use the link below. I have a link for Bitunix, BTCC, and BYDFi. I do have an exclusive trading competition going right now on BYDFi with some pretty easy rewards to get. So feel free to sign up for those. And that's going to be pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, everyone. And we'll see what happens here. You know, again, it's kind of just maybe just some sideways right now. I don't think there's going to be a lot of price action, but who knows? We could see something happen here. Right now, I think just people are kind of just worried about going into a recession. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's it for the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below. Have a great day, everyone. See you guys.